So over the last 15 days, I've lost about 13 pounds. Now I'm in the middle of a challenge where I'm trying to lose 20 pounds in 30 days using a protein sparing modified fast. So I'm about halfway through. So day 15 was just a couple days ago, but I just wanted to update you at the halfway mark. So I started off my diet, and within the first couple days, my weight dropped pretty dramatically. So I think I dropped like 7 pounds or so in the first couple days. I'd have to go back to check, but since then I'd been pretty quickly dropping weight, dropping weight, dropping weight, and then probably about you know uh, 10 days in or so, I was pretty close to the 13 pounds down mark, and I just kind of held that for a long time. Now, I was kind of expecting too that like maybe I was holding on to some water that would drop pretty quickly, and just a couple days later, I found out that is true. I'm down a couple more pounds since then, but day 15, that's where I was. So I was right at about the 13-pound mark following a protein sparing modified fast. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update and just kind of let you know exactly what I did and how I did it. Now, this is a pretty extreme diet. It's a very low calorie, high protein diet. It's not for everybody. And also, just to be, upfront and apparent, of the 13 pounds, I'm not sure how much is, glycogen water loss, fat loss, but I do think at this point now it's going to be majority fat that I'm losing. So what am I doing exactly? So I started my diet at about 200 and I think I was 214 pounds, 212 the next morning, but 214, 212, and I'm trying to get down to about 182 pounds. Not necessarily, yeah. So 182 pounds would be the 20 pounds. So yeah, that's right. And you know, I'm estimating that that's going to put me around um, 15% body fat or so. I'm trying to eventually get down to 10 or 12%, but I think that'll get me to about that 15 mark. And I also think that I say down to 182, I'm going to, after this diet's over, I'm going to carb up for a few days, and I'm quite sure that my weight's going to jump up to probably closer to, I'm going to guess 187, 188, something like that. We'll see. I'll do a video and we'll find out. But basically what I've been doing is I've been making sure to hit my protein. So protein sparing modified fast is a high protein diet where you're eliminating as much carbs as you can. You're just eating fibrous carbs. You're not eating potatoes. You're not eating, fruit. You're not eating, you're just eating like kind of leafy greens. I personally, probably half of my veggie intake has been sauerkraut because I just enjoy it a lot more. It's good for you, and it makes the diet easy. More on that later, but um, unlike a keto diet that's also low carb, you're going to be cutting your fats down really, really low too, as low as possible. So you're going to be focusing on meats that are, 99% lean, up to, I'll go to up to 96% lean. So I can find some 96% lean ground beef where I'm at. you know, I fit that in. Some people say that's not lean enough, but you don't have to make such hard, strict rules between whether you're getting 900 calories or the 1100 calories. Either way, you're going to be in a huge deficit. You're really going to have a hard time finding any meat that's just 100% protein, but white fish, tuna, cod. I know tuna's not a white fish, but after it's cooked, it's a white fish. So tuna, cod, tilapia, a lot of other seafood. Been eating a lot of shrimp. Haven't been eating scallops, but I think scallops are a great choice. Stuff like that. Eating a lot of turkey, sliced lunch meat. Look at the back. I say lunch meat. You got to look at the nutritional content on something like that and understand, yeah, turkey's great. Most ham's good. Most roast beef is good. I really like the London broil. I've been eating a lot of that, but that doesn't mean like salami or these, high fat charcuterie, you know, lunch meats that you'll get that you'll usually have in like cheese boards, salamis, things like that. Those are really high fat and not on this diet. But other than that, smoked turkey, boneless, skinless chicken breast, bunch of boring stuff, bunch of, dry, not fatty meats, which is again why I love sauerkraut. Unlike leafy greens, it's wet. It's got some moisture. It's got some acids. So I like to mix that up with a lot of my proteins. I'll even get these low carb tortillas that are basically just fiber, and they're big tortilla, about 60 calories. They have smaller ones that are 35. It's like 5 grams of protein, like 14 grams of fiber or something like that, and maybe a gram of fat or something like that. Pretty low. And again, for me, that's fine. I can fit it in. I'm still hitting 200 plus grams of protein and sticking to 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 calories a day. So that's my version of this protein sparing modified fast. That's what I'm doing. And yeah, outside of that, I don't even know if I got to this point, but most of the fats I'll be getting are from fish oil. So just getting my essential fatty acids from fish oil, taking a multivitamin, and I'm still training jiu-jitsu. I'm still training Muay Thai. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I'm just trying to keep it calm. I'm not doing that many hard rounds. I'm just trying to work on technique and stuff like that. There's been a few days where I did some hard rounds. I knew that I was, and on those days I actually got like an electrolyte dextrose drink, like electrolyte, and just got enough carbs to fuel me through that specific workout. But outside of that, I'm keeping protein high, everything else super low. And I'm also weight training 2 or 3 times a week. I started off doing maybe 4 times a week, and then 3. And these last couple weeks, I'm cutting it down to 2 full body days. As long as you keep your weight up and your intensity high, keep your protein up, you're going to preserve most of the muscle on this diet. I'm also walking close to 20,000 steps a day now. And I was watching this video by Brandon Carter, and he was talking about, he was doing a protein sparing modified fast and has people do 20,000 steps the first week and then 40,000 the second week. I decided to go a little higher on my challenge and go closer to the 20,000, but 40,000 is a little much in my opinion. I don't know how conclusive the research is, but there's some evidence where your body can only metabolize so much fat. So even though we're going as low of a calorie deficit as possible, I do think that you can definitely overdo it. So that's why I don't advise doing a bunch of extra cardio. I don't advise doing anything like that. Maybe get your steps up. I don't think you should go into those extreme numbers, because if I remember correctly, and I don't know how much weight to put in these estimates and studies, but there's some people that would say that you can only burn I think 31 calories per pound of fat that you have. So there could be a certain point where your body can only mobilize so much fat to burn, and you've got glycogen to go through, you've got other things where your body can take calories before muscle, but I think you can go a little too far. So if you're going to do a protein sparing modified fast for weeks, up to a month, up to maybe 6 weeks, probably as far as you should take it without at least taking a decent break. You're not going to be wanting to do a bunch of cardio. Keep the protein high, keep the weight training intensity there, stay strong, lift 2 to 3 days a week with intensity using the same weights you always would, and focus on keeping the muscle. But I wouldn't go too extreme. I definitely wouldn't be doing running, cardio, anything unnecessary like that. So walking is a little easier. It's easier for your body to recover from. So I think that's okay. Maybe even taking up to the 20,000 steps is maybe even burning through a little bit of muscle. I don't think so, but we'll find out. And that's just on another note, another concern people have is, this low calorie protein sparing modified fast. Are you losing a bunch of muscle? Well, I think if you look at the research, you will lose lean body mass, but that's going to be mostly from just losing muscle glycogen. Like my arms, they're not as big as they were, and I don't think that I've actually lost muscle. I think they're just a little bit flatter than I'm used to. And for the most part, once you carb back up, you're going to get your fullness again and stuff like that. And losing that water, losing the glycogen in your muscles, like if you took a DEXA scan, that's going to pop up as losing lean body mass. But it's not it's not something that I would overly worry about. If you're not going extreme, you're not going, you're not doing this for months, you're eating your protein. And that's the most important thing, keeping the protein high in the weight training. If you're doing those things, you're going to preserve most of the muscle. And I just want to address one more point that I feel like is not addressed often enough when we talk about these more aggressive diet approaches is even if I lose a little bit more muscle mass, just a little bit, like let's say I lose an extra pound, even if I do, if I can get to my goal leanness 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6 months faster from a dieting more aggressively, but I lose another pound, the other side of that coin is I also have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months to lean bulk, to main gain, to actually start putting muscle on again. So that's part of the equation that a lot of people don't talk about. But, all that being said, protein sparing modified fast, 15 days, down 13 pounds. Yes, some water. Yes, glycogen. Get that. But we'll see where we're at the end. I still think that I'm going to hit the 20 pounds. We'll see. I'm going to have one more free meal this Friday, and then the following week after that, I will be done, and we'll see where we're at. So, again, this diet's not for everyone, but this is how I've lost 13 pounds in 15 days. If you want to find out exactly how I did it, or just more about a protein sparing modified fast in general, a little bit of a guide, I will put a link below to an article I wrote on Substack about a protein sparing modified fast, what it is, list kind of the foods that I will eat on it. And yeah, so, keep up, and I'll show you where we've gotten in 30 days. And yeah, check out the link below, like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.